Joining me tonight in Emerge is Michael Tomlinson from Yves, Klein and MF Tomlinson. How's it going today, mate?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing
Thanks for having
good.
me on the show.
Thanks for joining me, mate. Just past 10 years ago since you released your debut album with Yves, Klein, Ragged and Ecstatic. Looking back at the record, how do you feel about it personally?
Yeah, I love it. Like, I've got a copy of it right here in my hands. It's in a jewel case, so it's cracked. But,
So's mine.
Yeah, we should have got the digipack. All of us in the band listen to this very fondly. It's like a sort of, it is a younger version of yourself. So I kind of feel like when I listen to this record, it's only ever really because someone else plays it to me, which I think is really like I'm very touched by, and I'm always get quite taken aback at like I feel how young I sound, but there's still the same kind of things that I think about now and write about now, and just when we were chatting before we started recording, you were asking me, does it feel like 10 years ago? Like, yes and no. Like, it feels like worlds away, but the same world to me.
Was it always your intention to create such a diverse sounding rock record?
I don't think we intended to create, like, we weren't trying to be willfully diverse, but it definitely is, obviously is. I think that also comes down to just like, we were sort of extremely fresh and very much like excited by like the new music that we would discover, and we were always sort of trying to make something that was like that was the Eve Klein Blue thing, was trying to make something that would stand the test of time. So we were always trying to, we were learning about music basically. We were finding different areas of music. I guess if we just listened more closely to one particular area, it would have been less divergent. So what you hear there is really just us like discovering something, getting excited, making a song, and I don't know. I guess it's quite like it's a document of the part of our musical journey.
Yeah,
Obviously. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say.
yeah, definitely. And did you have a specific writing process for this album, or did it kind of vary from track to track?
I mean, the tracks came together over over the whole time that we were our first, bit as a band, our EPs. So yeah, and I don't know, mostly it was like sort of either an idea that we would develop or an idea that would come out of a jam. I guess I'd take it away and work on the lyrics, and then we just sort of get together on it again. And that's how we kind of worked. That sounds like fairly dry answer, but yeah, that is what happened.
And did you tend to draft your lyrics very often, or did they kind of just come out exactly as they were?
They're incredibly labored. Like it was a very intense drafting of all the lyrics on this record. I think I filled up like, I don't know, like just like 30 notebooks or more. Like
Gee.
just like maybe a big bookshelf was just full of notebooks by the end of this. I was totally determined not to have any throwaway lines. And yeah, listening back, there's so much packed in there.
There is.
Like I said, like some of those ideas and stuff that are in there, still things that I think about. So, I think it's, I'm happy about the lyrics now, looking back.
And do you remember which track was the most difficult to complete writing?
No, I don't actually. I think all the songs had their difficulties, and some of the songs I feel like were, yeah, to be honest, it was like it's too long ago really to remember that.
Yeah.
I remember though that we all like sort of like recording the album was really big for all of us. It was a big growth spurt in the band, and everyone really stepped up. Like it was a really amazing time. So there was a lot of difficult moments in the recording process, but it was also a time when I think that everyone, every single one of us did something really special. And I feel like that through the like when we went to LA to record, we didn't have the easiest time, like being away. We all had very strong views and all obviously cared so much about the record. So we had some moments where it was difficult, but I feel like we all came through into like, I don't know, something we're really proud of.
And do you remember what the first track written for the LP was?
I remember the very first idea that appears on this record was the opening riff and the chord sequence from Make Up Your Mind. It wasn't Make Up Your Mind at that point. It was a different song.
Mm.
But that idea was real old, like from probably the very early days of me and Charles writing together before we met Chris and Sean. But yeah, like I think it was Polka. That's the first tune that was completed that was on the record. And yeah, I think the very last song that we wrote was Soldier, which we sort of wrote just before we went into the studio. But yeah, like I remember, but the very last bit of the record to be written was the chorus for Getting Wise. This sort of dun dun diddle dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Didn't have the sung chorus on it. It was just the instrumental section. But yeah, Kevin pushed us to go for a sung chorus on that.
How do you remember the recording process being? Did you record the tracks live?
We did a guide live, like we did it, but then we multi-tracked.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't live recording.
How did you manage to capture such a live sound? Because to me, I kind of always assumed that it was.
Well, I feel like we were pretty like still pretty extra. Like we were very 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 passionate. And very worked up, always trying to make it sound like, very immediate. Otherwise, we would get very, emotional about that. Like, yeah, like we were very always like, if anyone like remembers like how we used to play live, there was a lot of intensity and intent there. So I think if that's what you're hearing, like just that we were totally extra and really wanted that extraness to come through.
Yeah.
That's obviously a dream that you would think it's live because that's the goal of recording, right? Just like make it feel like it's actually happening. So yeah, thanks.
That's all right. And if you remember, around how much time did you spend in the studio in LA recording?
I actually can't remember. I feel like it could have been 6 weeks.
Okay.
It felt like a long time. It was. I think it also 2 months, but I think it was 6 weeks. It must have been.
Yeah.
Then when we came back, we did another like week up at Hoggy Studio, and then we then went to
Was it
Big
Airlock?
Jesus Burger. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
In Hoggy Studio. Sorry. Yeah, and then we went to Big Jesus Burger to mix.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was kind of like we didn't get all our mixes done. So Scott Horscroft did some too. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like all records now, like now records, I feel are made like the way I've been recording now is I kind of prefer it. Like you go and get some stuff in the studio, you go work on it in your studio, you take it to another studio. Like it's like it comes together really gradually. And I think even that record, like, I don't know, it's tough. It's always tough to get like all your mixes from one mixer, I think, because there's always going to be something maybe that they don't quite get, or at least in my experience. And sometimes you just find a mixer that works perfectly. Like, but anyway, like I feel like records are always a protracted process. Especially when you're making something, it's quite a long format thing to make, really. Like EPs are kind of a much more natural thing to create in a single sitting, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, records are kind of like, I guess that's why they're a bit more, they're more appreciated because they're more a long form piece of art. So it was like, it ended up being a few months, the whole process, like 3 months more.
And so sorry to go back even further, but how was the recording process different from that EP? Just the EP was a lot shorter?
Yeah, it was shorter, and it was, we recorded that EP straight after when we got together. Yeah, I don't know. Like we did that one with Caleb James, down in Byron, and it was like the first time that we'd been in a proper studio. We were just kind of excited to be there, and we knew we were going to make something. Well, we were sort of, yeah. I don't know why it was different. But no, but what I mean is, all I mean is that it's easier to make 5 songs that fit together than
Yeah.
12.
Mm,
And it's also sort of like also it was our debut album. There's a bit more pressure on that as a
sure.
statement. We did go to the other side of the world, so a bit out of the comfort zone. Um, but I also don't think it would have sounded anywhere near as good if we hadn't taken ourselves out of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough. And looking back at the album, is there a specific track that stands out as a personal favorite?
it would really depend on the day that I was listening.
Mm,
Uh, yeah, like this sounds terrible, but like I really do enjoy having a listen to all the songs now. Like I do have a soft spot for June Sling,
yeah.
um, Celebrity Death, uh, Dinosaurs Fun, the
Yeah.
riff. I always remember that riff. Like I love that riff. Summer Sheets, like literally like all of the songs, to be honest. And that's yeah. But I don't know. Like I don't really listen to the songs that I make or that like I make with groups after they're finished
Mm,
because by the time that you've and this is one thing that I like it's like with this record is like listening to Ragged and Ecstatic it's like um I would only listen to it really if a friend put it on because and it's really nice to be reminded of where you're coming from uh as you move forward because moving forward takes up all your mental space
mm,
like the connections and the collaborations that you forge on making works are like the things that you revisit to me and you obviously revisit the songs live um, but it's like once you've completed a piece of art you've really like had so much time with it and experienced it in such a like such a complete way that there's kind of like it's rarely that you'll think to yourself to just go back and just sit down and listen to it.
mm.
But that's important to it. That's why it's important to do that because listening is as much a part of I don't know like yeah like taking stock is as much a part of moving forward as anything else.
Yeah, definitely. And
So yeah, so yeah I don't know yeah but yeah I really love all the tunes on the
mm,
record.
me too.
Oh thanks man.
And do you remember which track took the longest to complete or was the most difficult in the studio?
Mm, no, I actually really don't like the yeah. It all kind of blows into one thing, really.
Yeah, fair enough.
I could only tell you like I could only tell you the best bits. I can't remember
What what
the worst bits
what is the best bit?
of the recording process.
Yeah. What was the most rewarding part of it? If there's one thing that stands out.
I mean, I remember like when we did the chorus for Getting Wise, and also Make Up Your Mind. Those two choruses came in the studio, and that was great because that was a big lesson. Kevin really pushed us to do like there was a certain thing that he wanted to hear and to be honest Kevin isn't the most diplomatic man and at times that was tough for us because we never really been in a studio with a someone who's like I guess someone who just wants to slightly augment what you're doing or like maybe just like has a suggestion or like sort of as opposed to someone who sort of is saying you need to like make this different. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Uh, you need to do this sort of has a bit, and you need to write this bit. Being put on the spotlight that was quite uncomfortable. But actually, I got to thank Kevin because he taught us all about like basically he taught us a lot about songwriting and he put in pushing for those choruses. Those when it came, it was just like, okay, this is like chorus. This is a song, you know, like this is a song with a chorus like that.
Mm.
And I don't think we've written a song with a chorus like that or been involved in stuff like that. And so it's like that sort of idea that there was a hole, there was like a gap, and there was something that could fill it, some inspiration that could come through. So, you know, I don't think Kevin did that in a very nice way, but I think he did. But I think he did. He did make us and us do it. And there was also some really. So that was something that I'll never, you know, that I'll always carry with me. And that sort of feeling. Also, like, I think, for example, stuff like on Reprise, like Ben Montench from the Heartbreakers, from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, played on that track.
Oh,
yeah, and Ike from the Mars Volta came into the studio, and in Summer Sheets,
jeez.
the horn section from Green Day came and played on that.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know how I missed all this.
Well, yeah, it's like, you know, I think that was known at the time, but it was like a thing that, like, it's like I think it's a bit of a like a it was kind of like really like we were like, oh, it was Kevin's idea to get all these people in. I think he just wanted to get Ben Mont in to talk to him because he loved the Heartbreakers.
Oh, okay.
But you know, he came and played he played organ on Reprise and Gin Sling.
Mm.
I think he's anyway. I might be saying some things that are like, you know, 70% true. I know he played. Yeah, I think he played on those two tracks.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's something that like it took me ages to figure out. Like, it's a great idea to get whoever you have around you who is great to come and play on your tracks, because that's just how it works. You know, like, so that was another amazing lesson that I didn't pick up on for a while, which is that and Chris Banham said this to me. Like Chris said when after, like, I don't know, after we disbanded and we've been doing our own thing for a few years, and then Chris said, you know, should really go, you know, be solo, because Chris always like thinks of things in a really interesting, logical way, which I never think of things in. And he's just saying, if you like are a solo in inverted commas artist, you can collaborate with whoever you want. If you're in a band, you like collaborate with the same people. True. But if you're a solo act, you can really, the sky's the limit for who you can get, who you can play with, who you can create with. And yeah, like, I guess, yeah, that was, yeah, to Chris's very point, like getting like a horn section on Summer Sheets was incredible, and we didn't have a horn section before we went in the studio.
Yeah.
Never did since. So, you know, those kind of magical moments were, yeah, that was really special too.
So
actually,
no, sorry, go on.
No. Yeah.
I was just going to ask if the horn section wasn't planned at all when you initially took the song in?
No, that was Kevin's idea. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this was the sort of stuff that we were kind of like, some of it was good, some of it was bad, that like we didn't really get any prep that, you know, anything was going to change when we went to the studio. So when we got there, we were kind of like a bit like, oh my God. But again, that's just us being like super green, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you like went in with a pretty cemented idea of what you wanted the songs to sound like, and it took a while to be able to accept it.
I mean, we had to accept that pretty quick.
Okay.
But yeah, like it was kind of like I feel like we weren't really well prepared by the label. They didn't really give us heads up about that.
Okay.
But in hindsight, I must say that was a very positive thing, because I don't think the record we went in was anywhere near as good as the record that came out, obviously.
And
it's not like everything totally changed, but like it's like stuff like Wooden Horns and Summer Sheets, like, you know, stuff like that, like as I said, those choruses and stuff that came through,
Mm.
it was like it's the same record. It was just better and it was just tighter.
Yeah.
And we all came out of there kind of a bit wiser, getting wise. So guess what getting wise is about?
Yeah, wow. And in the album credits, you thank record collections. Do you remember which album or albums made the biggest impact on you while working on this album?
We were listening to like The Clash and Bruce Springsteen and like Husker Du. What else? The Pixies,
Nice.
Bob Dylan. It's all like pretty mojo, really.
Mm.
Like, you know, we obviously we like the Cold War Kids record. That's like why we work with Kevin.
Yeah.
And obviously like all our friends, John Still singers, etc. Like all the music of our peers. But yeah, I would say like it's kind of like Clash, Springsteen, that kind of stuff.
Mm. And is there a specific record collection? Is there a specific record in your collection at the moment that's you can't stop spinning?
Yeah, just two. Chris Cohen, his new one, Chris Cohen, and Stella Donnelly, Beware of the Dogs.
Ah, okay. Nice.
And
Nice.
I just picked up Kikagaku Moyo's Masana Temple. So I was at like Howlin' Pop Festival on the weekend, and I saw them for the first time. Really blew me away.
Yeah.
And what else do I like? I don't know. A bit of everything.
Mm.
Like
That's the way.
I've been listening a lot of Baby Huey. What else, man? What did I get? I got a bunch of Nick Cave records. We played at Rough Trade the other day.
Oh, nice.
What did I get? I'm just looking at my records now. I would say my two favorites right now are Chris Cohen and Stella Donnelly.
Yeah. Cool. What kind of music is Chris Cohen? I'm familiar with the Stella Donnelly record, but
Chris Cohen is like a bit of an indie legend. His first band was called, I can't remember what his first band was called. That's really bad of me. He played guitar in Deerhoof for a while, but I just mainly know him as Chris Cohen because like I'm not really a big discoverer of music. I rely on people that are much cooler than me to tell me what's good. And my friends dragged me to the Chris Cohen gig.
oh,
And it was like super special. Yeah, he's an incredible songwriter. Really like it.
yeah. Cool. And it's a tough question, but do you have a favorite Australian album, or one that just stands out right at the moment?
Yeah, like I've been really lucky to spend time with Rolling Blackouts, Coastal Fever, and Stella Donnelly recently. Yeah, so I think they're two standouts. I like, of course, Harriet Hatchie's record. It just came, like, brilliant. I think there's so much good music coming out of Australia. Like, I'm just like kind of, really just always blown away and super proud to hear all the great stuff coming out of Australia and friends, or like different people coming through with new projects, and it's just always really outstanding. Yeah, like. So, and what would be my favorite Australian accent? Oh, sorry, favorite Australian album? My favorite Australian accent? There's only one, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh.
there's
the bogan ones and the non-bogan ones, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's like, you can describe that as maybe as a gradient. But
yeah. Okay.
I think it's the affectations that are really different, that really separate Australian cities. In the UK, there's like loads of different accents.
Yeah, there are.
Or like when you go, but I don't know. Anyway, Australian accent, brilliant accent. Everyone's got an accent. Why not have an Australian accent? That's what I say.
I reckon. Agreed.
Favorite Australian album? I don't know. Tallulah by the Go-Betweens.
Oh, good
I
pick.
love that record.
Have you gotten around the Goon Sax yet? Which is, I think, one of the members' sons is in the band.
Yeah, Robertson.
Yeah.
Um, I love the Goon Sax so much. Up for Anything was just played non-stop at the cafe that I work at.
Ah.
Was yeah, I just love that record. It's brilliant. I love the lyrics, um, the vibe, like so wonderfully understated,
Mm.
like really like just so spot on. Their second record I haven't listened to as much just
Ah.
because I actually don't have a copy of it, so I need to grab one.
Definitely.
Somewhere. But yeah, no, I love the Goon Sax. They're amazing.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you, man.
Lovely to chat to you, man.
You too, man.
Thanks for chatting to me, and yeah, I hope you don't have too many ums to edit out.